What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, NVIDIA, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I want to break down what's happening with NVIDIA and these other tickers, what's going on with some other factors affecting the markets, what you should be watching for as time progresses. But before I break into these information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull and deposit $500 into the account, you are guaranteed 20 free stocks. If you deposit $25,000 or more, you're guaranteed 75 free stocks. This offer ends very soon, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, looking at SPY, after the FOMC minutes have come out, SPY started to show more signs of volatility, kind of popped. Then it ended up dropping from 496 all the way down to the 494s, and we're barely at support right now. So I'm going to be watching to see how this ends up moving. The question is, are we going to continue to close below 494 or not? Could we bounce from here? You want to be watching this very, very carefully. I also want to call out that on SPY, when you go to the daily time frame, I'm going to be watching the 20 EMA as a support because the whole market is trying to sink right now after the FOMC minutes came out. I gave everyone a warning that after the minutes come out, we could be looking for some high volatility, and we're getting that so far. SPY is down more than 2 to 3 points already in just a short period of time. So I'm going to be watching the 20 EMA. 493.16 as the next support if we lose 494. We're barely holding this for now, so watch and see how well we hold in this range. But we are getting this little sell-off, so be very careful. Now, what happened with the FOMC minutes? We had the attendance from Jerome Powell and many of the other Fed officials, and they gave us more insights about their opinions. Most of what they said was essentially the same thing from what we already knew. We knew that the Fed is going to likely have to monitor the situation, be very patient. But we did see some new things come out. Basically, at the minutes, most of the officials noted that the risks of cutting too quickly are there. So there are risks of them being, too aggressive or also being too lenient at the same time. So they want to be very, very careful. There is a risk of them cutting too early, which is why they're going to wait and see what the data suggests. And they're going to be continuing to monitor CPI and other inflationary metrics. A couple of the policymakers pointed to downside risks from maintaining an overly restrictive stance for too long simultaneously. Some of them have different views on this. So if they're, if they're in a position where inflation is very, very hot, and this is what one of them kind of mentioned, they have to keep rates up for higher and for longer, right? And they're saying that there's going to be more downside risks, more pain potentially coming if that ends up being the case. So they're giving us warnings about that. They also mentioned that they want to be very, very careful, do what they've been doing, and then continue to monitor the situation as is. So most of what they said is the same thing from what I was looking at. Same speeches again and again and again. But these are a couple of things that were a little bit more different from what these officials are thinking. Now, looking at the target rates, this went up just a little bit. The market's expecting the Fed to basically keep rates the same. There's a 93.5% chance that's going to happen, only a 6.5% chance we get a cut. So thus far, this is changing the way things are looking. The market has sunk in just a bit. We're barely holding 494 on SPY. We'll see how well it holds for now. But I want to call out something else. The FOMC minutes have caused the market to drop a bit, but there's another factor coming out, and we have NVIDIA's earnings today after the market closes. That's going to be an even bigger factor, and this will determine if we continue to tank on SPY in the markets or do we get a massive, massive bounce. So for NVIDIA, we're expecting $4.64 EPS adjusted with revenue at $20.62 billion. That's going to be an over 200% growth year over year, which is not bad whatsoever. So we're expecting these very, very nice earnings, good growth, good products. The expectations are high for NVIDIA. Will they meet expectations or will they fail? We'll just have to wait and see. But I just want to call out something very important. NVIDIA, in my opinion, is most likely going to beat on earnings. I think there's a very, very good chance they will. I think they will, but I'm not too sure about if they're going to beat on the guidance estimates. Are they going to continue to raise their guidance? I'm not too sure about that. There's a good chance, they might end up doing so, and we could see a lot of shorts getting squeezed one more time. But then again, we'll just have to wait and see. So if you're holding anything overnight on SPY or Tesla or Aapl, you can make crazy money because the market may make a big move overnight, okay? But at the same time, it could be risky because you never know what NVIDIA will cause. So I just want to give you guys that warning to be careful. You never know what could happen, but always be open-minded and always play it safe in terms of risk management. Non-financial advice is just what I'm doing, but you could always do whatever you want. Excuse me. Anyways, going back to SPY, okay? For SPY, we're going to see, is this thing about to make some crazy moves? Are we going to like sink, then bounce? Are we about to bounce off 494? Are we about to bounce off this liquidity zone and start pushing back up? Or are we about to tank? I don't know, guys. It depends on NVIDIA's earnings. I wouldn't be surprised if NVIDIA actually ran to the upside and ended up squeezing shorts, but always be open minded just to be safe. We have a nice double top leg formation. This does look beautiful for a big sell off. It is a possibility, but nothing is guaranteed in the market like this because of the fact that the market is determined by liquidity and the intentions of these market makers and such, the other bigger players. So we'll see, guys. Just be open minded. If you're holding anything overnight, be careful and just know Nvidia is about to make a massive move. How about for Tesla? And let me clarify one thing. If Nvidia does very well for earnings, SPY could run all the way back up to 498 plus, all the way up to the 500s again. If not, if Nvidia fails and doesn't do as well and Nvidia sinks, right? Nvidia could drag this all the way down to the 480s. All right, so you want to be very careful. Let's go over Nvidia, then Tesla, and the others. Nvidia is kind of sinking right now. It's been sinking and sinking and sinking. Now we're all the way down to 666. The support we called out was 666, and that's where we're currently at. If we're bullish, you're going to be looking for a big move into the all-time highs again. It could still retest all-time highs and even break to new ones if we're bullish. If we're bearish, this thing could be sinking all the way down to 600, the very low 600s. This breakout zone is what I'd be eyeing, 630, or even below that. So be careful, guys. Be careful. You never know what's going to happen. Now, in my opinion, they're going to beat on EPS and revenue? Most likely, yes. Not too sure about guidance. We'll wait and see. We've been dumping approaching earnings, so sometimes that could indicate we might bounce, but just to be safe, we'll wait and see how it goes. Expect a very, very big move. For Tesla, if Nvidia runs, so Tesla got this nice little pump today, started to dump a bit. We were actually green about an hour ago, and now we turned back to red as we started to see the whole market dumping thanks to the FOMC minutes. So for Tesla, we're still above our channel, so it's still in a decent place. It's not really in a bad place. So will Tesla get a breakout? Will we break 200 and start pushing for this top here at 205 and 207? Or is Tesla about to get a rug pull and start sinking to the 180s? I don't know, guys. It depends on NVIDIA. NVIDIA is going to determine this. It's going to affect Tesla too. Let's wait and see. If you hold overnight, it's risky. You could make a ton of money or you may not make money. So be very, very careful. I want to give you guys a warning. But at the same time, it's your own risk, your own money. Do what you want to do. For Aapl, we're barely at the 180 area. We called out 180 as a nice support. Is Aapl about to see an inverse head and shoulders accumulation structure breakout and start pushing back up to 185? Or is Aapl about to collapse and hit 178 and eventually 175? We're stuck close to 180. We either pump 5 points to the upside or 5 points down, in my opinion. NVIDIA is going to affect this, so wait and see. But just know historically, for the year, every time Aapl hit 178 to 180, it bounced. So we're going to see if we could still repeat what happened this year. There's a very good chance it might try to bounce, but I can't promise it because technicals alone are not everything. For the QQQ, it's the same thing. It's going to be heavily dictated by NVIDIA. It's been sinking, approaching NVIDIA's earnings, starting a potential downtrend. But the thing is, I could actually take a trend line like this, connect these tops, and then we could also connect these lows, I guess. But if we were to rebound, can we get a rally back up to this upper resistance before we reject again? Are we going to push back up into the 430s, or do we end up collapsing and sinking all the way down to about 416 or below that? Even below that could be coming. I don't know, guys. The chart does look bearish right now, but just to be safe, the chart is not everything. Nvidia is going to affect it more. So will we bounce to the 430s, or do we get a rug pull into 416 or below that? We'll have to wait and see. So a big move is likely coming. Now, I just want to call out a couple more. Some stocks which are doing relatively well are ARM or ARM, still holding up decently. Going to be watching 125 as resistance. If we break this, we could push again. Otherwise, we're still kind of shuffling. For don't forget about Super Micro. This thing might push and rally again thanks to Nvidia back into the 800, 850 plus area. Even higher levels could come. We have an imbalance to fill now at 1000. So it could push like crazy if Nvidia helps it pump. If Nvidia gets the rug pull, this is going to be sinking as well with it. So be very careful. Will the Russell 2000 pump to the 200s? 200 again, or is it going to reject and then make its way back down towards 194 and then 193 and below that? We'll just have to wait and see. For a few more, Google is starting to push. It's looking relatively strong, but are we about to reject off 144 and start sinking? Or are we about to break this and start pushing higher? Just wait and see. Amazon, are we about to sink down, lose 165 and start breaking? Or are we about to break out to 175? We'll have to wait and see on that. So, anyways, guys, I know that I can't give you guys any promises about what's about to happen, but the best thing to do as a trader sometimes is to be patient. It's something you have to learn, it's something that we have to deal with. So it is what it is. Let's see how Nvidia does. I'm hoping they end up beating on everything, EPS, revenue, pretty much everything, and they raise their guidance. I'm really hoping that that ends up being the case. I hope they address a lot of the concerns about their GPUs and the current market for that. And I hope for the best for Nvidia and all you guys out there. So good luck, guys. Do what you have to do. Let's hope for the best. Remember that if you're holding anything overnight, you may make a ton of money, may not make money, you may lose a lot. So be prepared for that. Be open-minded. Me personally, I'm not going to risk too much overnight on a day like this. I'm mainly sitting on cash in terms of my options or futures accounts. I'm not referring to shares. I still have my long-term shares, of course. So be prepared, guys. Do what you have to do, and I'll see you guys very soon on the next one. Get ready for Nvidia. A big move is coming very, very soon. Thanks again, and peace out.